Hey everybody, welcome back to video 2 of our mini series. My name is Adia and I'm stoked to be here with you guys. I know I use that word a lot, but I really mean it. I'm so excited because I have been preparing for this for the longest time. I have been studying and researching and creating and just doing a whole bunch of stuff that has prepared me to be able to share what I'm sharing with you. And it comes with a lot of experience, a lot of background, and just a lot of hands-on actually doing the things that I'm saying and that I'm sharing with you. And it's really what's helped me to get to this place of success in my life. And the best part about it is every freaking day I'm doing what I love. Every day I'm doing what I love. So I want to inspire and encourage you to be doing what you love every single day. And during this mini series, you are getting some tools, tips, best practices, all sorts of information to do just that. So I'm super stoked. In video 1, we talked a lot about confidence, and I gave you 3 big pathways and tools on how to build that, and confidence being the vehicle for where you need, the vehicle that's going to get you where you want to be. And then I gave you 8 practices to do, and I even gave you a really cool gift that I can't even tell you enough how excited I am about it, because I've been working on it for a long time, and it's been even before I brought it to fruition, it's been on my heart and mind to do for years. So make sure you guys check back. If you haven't watched video 1, please make sure to do that, because it's gonna answer a lot of question marks you might have right now in your head, like, what is she talking about? That's what video 1 is for. All right, so for those of you who guys don't know me, my name is Adia. I go by Adia Dance in the dance community. That's my brand. And I just love all things movement. And I have spent a good portion of my life doing what I love. I used to be a cheerleading coach. I actually, not just a cheerleading coach, I ran 3 high school cheerleading, pep squad, and competitive programs over a decade simultaneously at the same time. I've created national champions. I've created all sorts of programs, in addition to an extensive time doing cheer and running these programs. I've also had other certifications that had to do with fitness and movement. And I also have a degree in it all. So I have a degree in kinesiology and health science, really everything revolving around movement and just loving your body and taking care of it. And so one of the huge components of that is taking care of your mind as well. And I have built a very amazing business through Adia Dance, through Kickstart Country events, with the Yes Dance Convention, which I am a co-owner of, as well as Nashville Dance Fest, I'm a co-owner of. So I've built a lot, and Kickstart as well. But it's been quite an incredible ride, and I have loved, like, every day I get to do what I love. People are like, but you're working. And I'm like, but I love dancing. So I'm doing what I love as work. Like, what more can you ask for? So I'm excited again to share a lot of the things that I've learned. And one of the reasons that I chose to share all this was because when I got started, I had no intention of becoming an event director and producer and creator and all these things. All I wanted to do was dance. It's all I wanted to do. And I wanted more people to dance with. And it's what brought me down the line of instructing, because, hey, how do you get more people to dance with? Well, you teach them. So it's just been a really cool ride, just doing the things that I love. So I asked you guys in the last video, if you want to, get out a piece of paper, grab a pen or pencil, and be ready to take some notes. But what's really cool about this presentation and here in video 2 is we actually have a workbook that you can also work along with. So if you haven't already, make sure you download that workbook, print it out, grab a pen and paper, or grab a pen or a pencil, and bring it back over. And if you need to pause the video to do so, that's totally fine. So we've got so much to cover, and I just can't wait to get to it. So let's go ahead and do it. So if you are really ready to take control of your future, to stop living by the day to day and waking up hating your job, not wanting to like continue in whatever you're pursuing. If you're looking for more meaning, if you're looking for more passion, if you're looking to have success in the things that you love to do, and you want to build a career around that, you want to build financial security and income, and even if it's just play money or travel money, this is a place where I'm going to give you more tools that I have learned and to help you be successful. So I'm super excited to dive into some of the practices, some that you may have heard of, others you may not have. But as I like to say in my Kickstart instructor training, of course, the information is out there. Google has everything, but I'm going to bring that information to here to you so that you're not having to look every single place to do it. So, in this video, I'm going to really hone in on building community and ways to build community and network with the people around you, which then in turn will bring you more opportunities and more people into your sphere and get more eyes on you and become the kind of person that is attractive for other people to want to follow and therefore take classes from, or whatever it is that you want to do. So although I'm going to be talking a lot about dance, this is also applicable for lots of other different industries and areas of work. So yeah, really working on building confidence, building community, building your network. And let's go ahead and get into what are some things that might be holding you back? So I'm wondering how many of you are rolling your eyes like, oh, been there, done that, tried this, tried that. And you're like, this stuff doesn't work. Coming from someone who has an entrepreneurial heart, it's like how God made me to create things and to be a leader and to invent and to provide opportunities. Coming from someone who that is my background, I have gone through a lot of ups and downs when it comes to building. And I have seen lots of things that work and lots of things that don't work. But ultimately, it's about me personally. It's about what's going to work for me. And you need to realize that you are always in a new phase of life. You're constantly reinventing yourself, becoming a better version of yourself. As much as you are incredible as you are, like we talked about in the last video, the reality is you're always growing, improving, learning, expanding, pushing through barriers. So what may have not worked just a few months ago or a few years ago may work now. So give yourself a chance. Don't be so quick to say that this, whatever this is, doesn't work for you. And one of the things I hear a lot is, well, in whatever industry, whatever it is you're wanting to do, there's already so many people. The market is saturated. The instructor positions are saturated. There's nothing left for me. And I just want to tell you, if that were true, we wouldn't see all the incredible inventions that come up. We wouldn't see all the new TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram phenomenon people. We wouldn't see all this newness come in front of our eyes, because the reality is there's always room for more. Abundance is all around you. Just look outside. Look at the abundance of trees or blades of grass or suddenly babies everywhere or cars on the road, whatever it is. Abundance is everywhere. And so if abundance is everywhere, it's also there for you in what you want to do. So one of the big things that people will say to me is, well, there's only so many people who want to dance. Oh my gosh, there's an endless amount of people who want to dance. They don't even know they want to dance yet, and they want to dance. So you don't have to worry about there not being enough. There's always going to be enough. And even if there's not a position open in what it is that you're wanting to do, you get to create it. And I'm going to kind of talk about that. I go into that a lot in the course, the Kickstart instructor training program. But the reality is you can create spaces. You can create opportunities. We're going to talk about it today as well. So there's always room to create, and there's always people who want to learn. Think about it. How many of your neighbors, just think a couple blocks over, a couple apartments over, have you not met? Like, guaranteed you've got a list of addresses that you don't know who lives there, and you don't know what they're doing. You don't know if they're going to be your next best friend, your next client, your next significant other, who knows? The reality is there's people everywhere and there's abundance everywhere. And I don't want you to get stuck in the mindset that you're not able to do something because it's already saturated. It's not. Okay. It really, really isn't. And if you're feeling like, well, what I want to do, I don't have the education. I didn't get a college education for it. I haven't gone through the training. I'm too old to start learning what I need to learn. I just want to encourage you to smash that mindset and replace it with the fact that you are capable. There's nothing that you can't accomplish. Everything is possible for you. Every amount of learning or intelligence that you need to be able to do what you want to do is possible for you. So I just want to encourage you in that, because if we keep on telling ourselves the negative and we keep on making excuses for why things aren't happening our way, then that's it. Things aren't going to happen your way. But there's another way. And it might take a bit of investing in yourself, maybe even some reinventing of yourself, but you're doing it all the time anyway. Why not do it for something that feels amazing to you? All right. So in this video, we're going to really, like I mentioned before, we're going to get really specifically into a lot of the strategies that I use to build community, to build a network, to build connections with people that ultimately turns into something that is profitable, whether it be a private lesson client for me as a dance instructor, or a gig at a wedding, at a music festival, at a bar, whatever it is. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I totally ask for some patience here, because when it comes to sharing screens, I can get it can just be a little bit interesting. So, all right, let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can move this thing over. Gonna move it down here. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm moving over. Okay, don't judge me for all my millions of tabs open. That's just kind of how I roll. All right, let's go ahead and look at top 5 ways to connect with others and build your community. All right, can you guys all see that right here? Okay. I've got this thing on my screen, and I just hope that you can't see it, but I'm just going to pretend like you can't. We're going to move it up there. All right, here we go. Let's get started. The top 5 ways. So first of all, it is more than just a hello. Making connections with people takes intention. You can walk into a bar per se, or whatever, a place of work, a mall, or whatever it is that you're looking into doing. You can walk in and you can give a nod, a smile, and that's as far as it's going to go. When you choose to create a connection with a high five, a hug, a physical touch, now you've engaged the senses of someone else and you've got their attention more. So what do you do with that attention? Ask their name. Ask how their day was. This may not seem like rocket science, but you would be surprised how many people don't do the simple things to get people excited about seeing them again. So when it comes to building connection, you want to do more than just a hi. It's just not enough. I love this picture from the Edge Dance event. These were a group of friends that came out, and they just had so much fun learning and dancing with each other. But one of my favorite parts was some of the stories that I heard, that these people, they didn't meet each other. They didn't know each other for a long time. They basically met each other at a dance event, or there was their neighbor down the street, or they had all these reasons of how they connected. And I know that you can think of tons of things like this in your life as well, where people just, they make the connection. And when you make that connection, it builds community. So that's kind of just a little bit of an intro, but it really does go beyond the dancing. Dancing is the joy that gets shared, but you get there. But to get there, you have to go out with intention and genuinely connect with the interest of others. I love this picture of this gal from one of the dance conventions, Dance Excel. She was so intentional about making people feel good, about making people feel valued, making people feel like she wanted them there. And I'm not even exactly sure what her status was at the time or what she was doing for a living at the time, but she was so intentional, and that smile really said it all. The reality is, when you're building relationships in all areas of your life, it's a two-way street. It's an input and an output. And the different ways that I'm going to present in this presentation to building those connections, you got to know it's going to take work on both sides. And whatever it is that you're pursuing, I'm sure that there are lots of different people in different walks of life who have different experiences that you can gather information from. You can meet with them, you can talk with them, even if they're just little moments. I just want to encourage you to not ignore those moments and those opportunities. So let's go ahead and get into the 5 ways that you can connect with others and build your community. So again, I'm going to emphasize and hone in on the dance portion, but the reality is that this can really go for just about anything. So when you're social dancing at a location, make your rounds. What that means is, have you ever walked into a place of work, a place of worship, a place of, that you love to spend time, and you always go to the same place? There's so many people who are going to go to that same place that you're really going to be surrounded around the same people. But what happens when you move yourself around, when instead of dancing on, to the right of the DJ booth, you dance to the left of the DJ booth. Instead of sitting in the, front diagonal, front diagonal part of the church, choose a different seat. When you choose different areas, whatever that looks like, when you choose different areas to be in, you're going to actually make different connections with different people, which is ultimately going to build your network. This is something that I do all the time. So if I go to a bar, a lot of times I might hang out in a certain area, but the reality is I'm going to dance in all different areas of the bar, because then I get to be present in that area. I get to encourage the people in that area. I get to give high fives, meet new people, compliment someone's outfit, ask someone what they're drinking. I get to engage with different people all around, and really doing it with a smile and with a good attitude, and it goes a long way. It brings attention to you. If you happen to be watching this video and you're an amazing dancer, sure, you're going to get attention brought to you just by being an amazing dancer, but you can do so much more with that by being really intentional and actually talking to people, not just hearing a compliment, but giving someone else, engaging them in conversation. So whatever type of thing that you're into, and when you go to that place, when you're surrounded in that area, it might be an art festival in the park that you like to do. I don't know, what's your fancy, but choose to do things differently. Go and position yourself in different places, because that is going to expose you to different people. All right. So that's the first way to connect and build community. All right. So another way is to break the barrier. Be the first one to start the conversation. Be the first one to reach out. I totally understand if you are a shy person, or if being more reserved is more in your nature. When you choose to break that barrier, what you're doing is you're opening the door for so much more. And you never know when the person that you end up talking to, end up encouraging, end up giving some sort of attention to, they're really, really, really excited about it, and it means a lot to them. You never know what they walked into that day. And when you break that barrier, you make people feel safe. You make people feel like you're the type of person that they can ask a question to. Even if you're not a dance instructor, even just being in somebody's space and being someone who is the first to make the connection, that makes you a safer person, if you do it with a smile and a good attitude, of course. But if you're not instructing, let's say you're on a dance floor, you can say yes to helping when someone else asks you a question, or offer to someone to help them make the dance move easier. Go to a venue and share how you can offer lessons. You can literally go to the venue, and instead of waiting for them to ask you, you can ask them. You can create that first move. You break the barrier. You never know when someone is actually looking for that thing that you have, that interest, that passion, that skill set, or whatever it is. So in terms of doing what you love, even if you don't feel like you have the education or the background or the credentials or the certification, it doesn't ever hurt to go and put your best foot forward and make that first move. So ultimately, don't wait for the offer, the question, or to be approached. Break that barrier and make the first move yourself. All right. So when it comes to social media, now, if you're anything like me, you have a love-hate relationship with social media. But the reality is, in this day and age, that social media is a part of what we do. And for me, as a dance instructor all across the country and all across the world, social media is how I'm able to connect with people who I don't see on a regular basis. And I would bet that the people that you want to ultimately work with and share your passion with are not people that you see on a regular basis either. So using social media and getting involved in Facebook groups and things like that can be really, really helpful. So one of the suggestions would be to create an account or a page that shows you're serious about your work and helping others. And again, this is kind of right now specific to dance instruction, but if you don't already have a page, if you don't have something that points to you being a professional or serious about what you're doing, it's good to do it. Then you want to make a presence online for others to be able to find you, whether it just be a Facebook page, an Instagram, or something like a website or otherwise. You just want to be findable. I know that sounds a little cliche, it sounds a little easy, but the reality is if you're not findable, how are people going to know what you have to offer? How are you going to share that passion? And also, people look for things to do when they're traveling. They're looking for like where to meet up, what kind of event to join, just something to do. So they're looking for recommendations for daily exercise or meeting new people or things they could do with their spouse or with their kids or on a date night or whatever it is. So when you are engaged and you're paying attention to what's going on in these groups, you're able to offer your whatever it is that you offer a little bit more specifically to the people who are looking for it. Now, I totally get that being on Facebook can be a full-time job. So if social media is not your passion, I wouldn't suggest spending a ton of time on there. But being intentional about finding groups that would align with your passions or with your interests is going to be helpful to kind of narrow down. Or it may not align specifically with your passion and interest, but you might have something that you can share with a community of moms and kids in your area, a community of, people who love hot rods and motorcycles. And if that's the same thing, then I'm just really showing that I don't know much about cars, but there's so many people who do. So be active on social media. And again, it doesn't need to rule your life, but you want to get involved and be active in groups so that people know how to connect with you and know how to find you. And another pro tip here is like and comment as much as you actually post. It's a two-way, it's not one. So when you make things personal, when you connect with people and give them that time of day, that goes a long way. Think about it. Have you ever commented on someone who you really admire, like their post or their video or something like that, and then they actually respond and you're like, what? They took time to respond to me? That's the way that it feels. And that's the way they can feel when you actually take the time to do this. Now, ultimately, when you just hit a like button, I mean, people do count their likes, but for the most part, it's kind of a weaker approach to connecting with people. Going the extra mile, adding that comment, even if, like, I've seen comments where people are like, wow, you must be really desperate for attention that you're always commenting. No, I'm intentional about connection is what it is. You see it as desperate for attention. I see it as intentional connection. And here we are connecting over your comments. So that's kind of how it works. But ultimately, having an online presence and showing that it's you is going to help you build community, build your network. And then when you're meeting people in person, people are able to, put that virtual person in real life, and the connection goes even further. So here's the fourth idea to create create connection and build community. Even if you don't have anything else going on, host some sort of meetup in your area. It could be in your backyard, in your garage, in a parking lot. It could be at the beach, on the boardwalk. It could be at a poolside. It could be in a park, at a studio, at a barn, at a bowling alley. You could do a cookout. You could do a theme night. There's so many different ways to just start building community with the people who are around you and inviting them into your space. Invite them into your space. Oh my gosh, I have a wonderful friend who threw a holiday hoopla, and he's a realtor and would love to gain, wants to get his name out there and network with potential clients. But instead of having a come meet me as your realtor, he just had a hoopla, and it was a big holiday party, and there was food and dancing and drinks. And then as a little thank you gift, as people left, he gave a little something or another that also had his card as a realtor. He ended up getting 3 sales from that. It didn't happen right away, but it happened over time, and it happened within a year. Within a year, he had 3 leads that led to sales. And that's incredible, just from putting yourself out there and cultivating that community, creating that connection, creating a space and opportunity for people to connect. So if you're the type of person who feels comfortable with talking in public and to people and engaging and being around people, try one of these. It doesn't need to cost any money. It could just be a meetup somewhere. People crave connection. And when you create opportunities for connection, you become someone who is attractive to others. All right. And our last way to connect for this video is to genuinely show appreciation and get to know those around you. I love this picture because in this picture, you're not only seeing a bunch of crazy faces, but you're seeing people this group of us who we didn't always know each other. We came from these different places in our life, in our journey. But the thing that brought us together, from the community builder, we've got a community builder who does like corporate events with team building, to DJ, to dancer, to IT, who just wants to get moving and built an app around a really cool idea of getting people more connected with dance. It's like the connections are there, but when you show appreciation and support of those around you, it's what really makes you so much more admirable and the type of person that people want to be around. So in my avenue of dance, a lot of times I will be at a bar, and at the bar you've got security guards, you've got the DJ, you've got dancers, you've got instructors, you've got the bartenders and the management and the waitresses. And instead of just going about your day knowing that these people exist, what if you took a moment to share a compliment or a word of encouragement to these people, to acknowledge their hard work, to acknowledge the fact that they've been here since 5 a.m. or will be here till 5 a.m. cleaning up afterwards. When you take time to acknowledge people, you are building connection. And it may be like, well, that person's just doing their job. Yeah, they are. But when you take the time to point out and to thank them or to show them appreciation, it goes so far. Y'all, in my course that is the Kickstart instructor training, I go into some of my best practices for becoming that very sought after instructor who has a great relationship with just about every person and facility that I work with. Of course, there's going to be some people along the path who are going to be upset with where I'm going and what I'm doing. But ultimately, when I walk into locations, like specifically, there's this one location I love teaching at. I teach there like once or twice a month. And I walk in and every waitress, every busboy, all the DJs. Well, sorry, there's only one DJ, but all the bartenders, the person taking the money for food, everyone in that establishment is excited to see me and excited that I'm there. And I'm excited that they are there. And I take the time to shout them out during my lesson and encourage the crowd to thank them and say, hey, more than just tip your bartender. I definitely say tip your bartender, tip your DJ, but hey, find the security guard, give them a high five and thank them for what they do. Next time you see the owner, give her a huge thank you for creating such a cool establishment. And then they do. And then it creates more love and inclusion and connection inside that community. And it's so amazing to see happen. And it's really a forgotten thing. A lot of times in my experience, people come, they do their job, they get out. They come, they stay in their spot. They don't go around. They don't meet new people. They don't put themselves in a position to connect and build community. And that's why they're not doing it, or they're doing it at a slower pace, or maybe you're doing it at a great pace. But I bet you if you implement this, you're going to do it even more. You're going to get even more traction. So when it comes to students, get to know them, ask about their plans, their interests, their favorite dance. Thank them for choosing to be there. Be the person other people want to be around. This is a key to connecting with others and building community. Be that person that others want to connect with and be around. So interaction is key. And what comes after that is just is opportunity that you wouldn't even imagine that you'd have. All right, so now I want you to use these 5 paths and set your intention to go make and grow connections to build your community. So what's coming up next? As I mentioned, if you haven't already, make sure you print out and download that workbook so that you can go back through it and get in and put in the information and really fill it out from your perspective. Like I said, for the 100th time, I'm coming from a dance instructor perspective, country dance, country line, country partner dance, which I'm so stoked to teach you how to do because I have really found a way to make it a really successful way of life and be able to live my passion. But whatever your passion is, you can apply these same principles. So make sure you print out that workbook and use it if you haven't already. And what's coming up next is in video 3, I've got some amazing tools to actually help you get started teaching your first class should being a dance instructor be something that interests you, being a country line dancer, a country partner, country swing, two-step, whatever it is. I've got some tools that I'm going to give you in the next video where you can literally take them and implement them right away or as soon as you're ready, as soon as you feel practiced or rehearsed or whatever it is that you feel like you need, and get the ball rolling on living out your passion, living out your life. All right. I'm so excited for that to be the case for you. So with that, I want you to be the type of person that you want to be. And I think you're here watching this video right now because you want to be the type of person that has massive amount of influence and is able to live their dream every day, waking up, doing what you love, and be successful at it. Not have to continue to spend time and most of your day, that precious, precious, valuable time that you'll never get back, engaging in activities that you don't want to be doing. I think you're here because you want to up level wherever you are right now, whether that's starting from scratch and building, or whether that's taking what you've already got going on and taking it to the next level. So I'm super excited to help you get there. And in the next video, for those of you who are interested in being a dance instructor, a country dance instructor, or just even if you don't want to call yourself an instructor, but you want to generate income by teaching others how to dance, I've got some really cool things for you coming up in video 3. All right, y'all, until next time, I will see you soon. And if you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out. All right, see you later.